Hello, back to the usual setting. I'm ready to share with you my purchases from the Dior Summer 2024 collection. I would like to share the reason why I picked these products. As you know from my previous video, I started with picking these two items because I was attracted by the lavender theme. And I think the best pick of this collection is still this one, is the blush that is called Pink Lilac and is this great color, pink lavender color. It's more of a pink blush with a touch of lavender. And as I said in my previous video, I think that this is the right amount of purple in a blush without looking bruised. It doesn't swatch very well, but I can detect the color on my face. So I really love this blush. You see how used it is because I couldn't stop using it. I think it's very appropriate for this time of the year. It's more spring appropriate rather than summer, in my opinion. And I like it with my fair skin before I get more tanned. So for me, it's more than a summer blush, is a spring blush. And this time I have my collection here with me, so I can compare this color to other purple blushes that I have. I've been attracted by these lavender and pastel themes since a long time. This is a blush that dates back in 2017. And when Lorac was practically impossible to find in Europe, so there was a friend that picked it for me. And as you can see, this has a whiter base and is more lavender. So you can see that the Dior one is more pink in comparison. This one by Dior, it has a subtle sheen. It has a sheen, but it's not shimmery. So yeah, this is the comparison. I like the Dior better. I like how it layers. I can add up color without having a white cast on my cheeks. So this is much more flattering. Another comparison that I would like to make is with other cool pink blushes. So this is a great blush. Before, I already had this, but I don't use this a lot for the white base, as I told you. So before getting this was my favorite purple blush, and it is Mousseline Lilac by Givenchy. And is the Prismo Libre blush. So this is the Givenchy. Let me swatch it here. Is more neon, let's say. Not totally different, but the Dior one is a grown-up version, darker, is a bit deeper and less whitish. I love this blush. This is one of my favorite, and the texture is unique. It's lightweight because it's of a loose form. So it's messy, but it's worth it, in my opinion. So this is one of my best blushes in my collection, the most flattering ones. And yeah, this is the comparison. But the Dior one is more practical. I would say it's close in color to Mousseline Lilac, but I stopped the bright pink. Otherwise, this would have been more pink. But with this combination of colors is quite close, as you can see. And then other two blushes, the Gucci one, this is number 7 True Pink. These are more on the pink side. I was thinking to declutter this one because it's a color I have multiples of. So you may find it on my Vinted soon, this Gucci blush. And finally, the Danessa Myricks one in It Girl, and this may go on Vinted as well because this is very pigmented. And being so pigmented means that in order to get the pigmentation I want, I have either put it on my arm and then pick a bit of color, or diffuse it so much that becomes too wide on my face. So these are the disadvantages of this blush. But for darker skin, I think it's very nice. So this is the comparison I was interested to make for you. So again, Givenchy Prisme Libre Mousseline Lilac 01, the Dior Pink Lilac 063, and then we have the Lorac, it's called Panorama Satin, and then this one is the Gucci 07 True Pink, and this one is Dana Samaric's It Girl. So this is my first purchase, my first pick of this collection. Then I picked also the balm. This I don't recommend it because it's transparent. The point is it's transparent. It turns a bit pink over the time, not too much. It's not a bright pink, but it's a balm. It's invisible with a hint of pink on your lips. There's a mint scent. I will finish up and then I will buy a cheaper alternative. It's not a must. This is a must in my opinion. So this is a skippable, at least for me, where I do care about quality, but also the right price point. And this for me is overpriced. And then I picked these other two items. One is the Vernis Pastel Mint, and I'll tell you why I picked it up. So this is the mint nail polish that I think I will put on my nails with you. And then I picked the palette that is called Pastel Glow. It's the first palette with the new packaging with capital letters Dior. Now Dior has switched to all capital letters logo, let's say, and with this new opening. So this is the palette Pastel Glow. So they also renovated the sponges. There's one sponge with capital letter Dior and also a brush here. I like sponges more, especially with this type of formula. And now I'll tell you why I picked this palette. So as you can see, there's a match, and this is a green. Somebody says that is a blue. No, it's a mint green. And it coordinates very well with this pastel mint nail polish. I wanted to pick this nail polish. Let me put it here. I wanted to pick this nail polish because I was expecting this central shade to be more white, and I wanted a sample of that pastel mint that Peter Phillips, the creator of this collection, had in mind when saying that, because I believe that with these type of mainstream brands, these are not limited quantities. These are sold at retailers, so they are massively produced. This is my personal opinion, but what I think is that with these massively produced palettes, there's the creator that has something in mind, provides colors that he wants to coordinate, and then they go in production. And I don't think there's a lot of back and forth checking if the color has translated well into the material, the eyeshadow. So what I think is that the difference in colors here depends on the medium. So here you have the eyeshadow form, this is nail polish form, but the idea is the pastel mint. I don't know how it works, if there's any check other than the usual quality checks, but any artistic check. Because, these are editions, they are limited edition, they go on the market, and then there's something else already planned for the future. So this is the palette. Why did I pick this palette? Well, because of the mint color, although I expect it to be white, But more than that, I picked it because of these three colors on the top. I like the pastel idea, the pastel theme, and I like to have an implementation of these pastel colors in the baked gelée formula. So a lot of people have complained about the reformulation. This is not the reformulated Dior. Every now and then, Dior, but also Chanel, proposes these palettes with a special formula. And this is the Baked Gelée formula. That is a formula that every now and then pops up with Chanel and Dior collections. And also Tom Ford, the luxury brands. So this is not the reformulated Dior, and you can definitely see that because you don't have metallic pans around the single eyeshadows. These are baked gelée, and this is the gel to powder formula. So yeah, it's something totally different from the standard Dior formula that has been reformulated already 1 year ago. And as you may know, I prefer this formula over even the old Dior formula. The baked gelée formula is very smoothing and lightweight, and it's the only formula that I can confidently use on me in the sense that the shimmer here is subtle and is smoothing. Other type of formulas may have more impact, but they give me, that scaly effect that I hate on my lids. And that's the reason why I picked this palette. I wanted a variation of pastel colors with this formula. Another reason why I picked this palette is because I thought of using it as a highlighter palette. Nowadays, highlighters, even in the baked gelée formula, tend to be glittery. This, I think, is a great smooth formula with a sheen but without glitters that I can use confidently. I can use a green highlighter on my cheeks because it won't be a straightforward green. It will be a white with a hint of green. So I thought about these colors to be used as a highlighter for my eyes to give a glow, a colored glow, but also my face. So with these expectations, where I don't expect full pigmentation, where I will enjoy the smooth formula in the baked gelée form, with that in mind, then I can justify this purchase. The baked gelée formula, the gel to powder formula, is my favorite of all the eyeshadow formulas I have. It's my top favorite. And therefore, whenever I find special editions like this, with this formula, with colors that I like, and I don't have already in my collection, then I want it. And that's the reason why I purchased this. And I may consider also to purchase the other one, with the yellow and corals, because the browns there are more cool toned and there's a sandy quality that is very summery. So that palette is more summery for me, while this is more spring appropriate, in my opinion. So with that said, I think we are ready to swatch it. First, I would like to put nail polish. It's been 2 years since I don't use nail polish. Yeah, so I will do my whole hand. So it's a nice pastel color. It is a bit streaky as all pastel colors, but is very whitish as well. So I expected more green from this nail polish. So apparently there was this idea of having very pastel, very white base color. I did this because I'm curious to know now how the eyeshadow matches the nail polish from the collection. Dior nail polishes are very high quality in my opinion. I like the brush. So while I let this nail polish dry, then I'll do swatches here in this hand. So let's start from the pink. This is a great pink that is very smoothing. You see no glitters at all. This is a pure glow. And yeah, I may have this color in even in this formula elsewhere, but sometimes it's difficult to find a no glittery pink. As you can see, this is pure glow without glitters. It's a sheen. It's very refined and very pigmented. It's just light, but is pigmented. Then we have the green. Let me put the green at the top. Wow. This is so smooth. You see how smooth is the texture of this green. And yeah, I think it matches very well the nail polish. However, the nail polish, as expected, is more green. Like this translates more white. But I can use this as a highlighter on my cheeks even. Then there's the pastel lilac. Wow. Oh, it's so nice. Because it is kind of opalescent lilac. Is a glowy lilac without, you see how smooth is the formula. I think you can detect how smooth it is. And then we have these bottom colors that I'm totally not interested in. This one that is orange golden color, and this is a reddish brown. To be honest, I don't care for these colors, but yeah, I don't mind, but I don't think I will use them. Is because of these three colors here that I picked the palette. Now I would like to make comparisons. So I don't think I have something like this. When I look at it, I see a right balance of lavender and pink. It is less cool tone that I expected. And as you can see, the blush here is definitely more pink. If I compare the eyeshadows with the blushes, I think the closest to this lilac is even the Lorac blush. But the Lorac is whiter, it has a different formula. It lacks that sheen, the elegant sheen that only this type of, high-end Baked Gelée formula can guarantee. If you are picky with the finish and with the formulas, then I think you understand that this cannot be reproduced, in my opinion, by any other formulation. So in the meanwhile, I put the first coat of nail polish on this other end. But I put it here to show you the difference between the nail polish and the eyeshadow. To be honest, is even the eyeshadow. I expected even more white. So my conclusion is that the formula is outstanding. If you want this fine, very refined formula in Baked Gelée without glitters, with a subtle sheen, pigmented but light, then this is for you. This is even better than I expected because it's less grittier, it's totally smooth. And I was considering the quad of highlighters that have been repackaged, I think not reformulated, but just repackaged. They switched again to capital letters Dior on those highlighters, and I wanted those highlighters, but those are definitely more glittery, while these ones are not glittery at all. I can use them on my face because this is the texture that I want in a Baked Gelée formula for my face. Meaningful comparisons, in my opinion, are with this Guerlain Summer Jean palette. Everybody has done this comparison. I will as well. This gives a different effect, in my opinion, because it lacks the sheen. This one by Dior, this eyeshadow by Dior, is shimmery. It has a sheen and is lighter, while this one is matte. Is a satin matte finish and is deeper. Let me change the angle. You can see that this and these are different for me. I found this quad tricky because when I want to use this, then I want a cool tone for my crease to round up the look, while this one is too orange. Is a orange brown. These are colors that are not flattering on me. This is even better. This combo is very nice, to be honest. Colors are close for these two lavenders, but this has a different finish. Let me show you this one. This is Parure Venetienne, and I think we can compare the mint green. The mint green seems identical. Looks identical, but we will see. This mint green is more glittery. It has more specks of glitters, although they are very fine, but is not a smooth, uniform texture that you get with the Baked Gelée formula. This is another great formula that is baked, but not baked gelée, is only baked. And that's the difference. And this, let me compare with the Tom Ford highlighter from last holidays. Let me find it. So this is the Tom Ford Rose Irisee. And yeah, maybe it's whiter, but let me put it here. No, they are close. They are close. So yeah, these are my dupes. I think I was there with these three. I was there almost. I removed my makeup. I would like to try this lavender on one eye and this one on the other eye. So I'll pick this Sonia G brush. It's the soft shader brush. I will pick the Dior lavender on this eyelid. This is the color. Please excuse my washing machine, I'm doing the laundry. Okay, it's a very soft, light lavender. I hope you can see that. And with the same brush on the other side, this side, I will use the lavender from the Guerlain. This is the Guerlain. It's totally different concept. It's much darker and the finish is different. But it translates softly on the eye. I hope you can see that. If you look at the brush, on one side Guerlain and other side Dior, I don't see a difference. This ear is the Dior. And this ear is the Guerlain. I don't think that you can tell. Can you tell it's a different eyeshadow? The finish is different. Dior is shimmery, while Guerlain is matte. Let me try to put the Tom Ford highlighter as a shimmer sheen on top of this to see if it matches the Dior one. So now this is the Guerlain with Tom Ford shimmer on top. And this is the Dior. I think I can go out like this because I cannot detect in real life the difference. So all in all, yeah, very pretty but dupeable color story. And let me also make other comparisons, like if you have this Adept Sears palette, I actually sold 4 shades because yeah, they were the most colorful and yeah, I like these more muted tones. But there's this mint green that is more glittery, So a different texture, but I wanted to compare here. So this is more grainy, like the Chanel one also. And I hope that you notice that even the Tom Ford highlighter is more shimmery, more glittery, I would say, although these two are fine glitters, but it's less, both of these are less smooth than the Dior ones. And this is the Adept. So again, same color, but different finish. Another comparison is with my favorite pastel palette, that is the Blend Bunny one, Sickly Sweet palette. So this has some shades that may remind this pastel tones, but they are bolder and, you know, more obvious maybe. For example, I would say a pastel mint, the only shade that reminds of pastel mint is this one, but this is much darker, it's much more green. So let's try it. You see, it's a different story. Let's put it here. So here is a pastel mint, maybe, no, it's maybe, yeah, if you shear it out, becomes closer to the nail polish. So this is a different thing. And I also thought to use these as a base if I want more punch, and use these sheen, these glowy colors here on top to just give that refined texture that I love from the Baked Gelée formula. And what else? Let me try with this pink. This is a matte pink, just like this other color. So these are two mattes. So this is, no, is cooler in tone compared to this pink here. I hope you can see it, the difference. So this is more cool pink and much more whitish. And let's compare a few shimmer colors. So from this, yeah, the only two pink shades are these two. And yeah, this has, I think, a golden reflex, so it's a different thing. And let me put this cotton candy. These are totally different compared to this shade. Let me swatch them here. This cotton candy here is much cooler, more purple, while this one is closer to this one by Dior, but this is much more subtle. This is more glittery, and yeah, the shimmer is more obvious. Other shimmer shade is this one, but is much darker. It's a different story. And let me use this one. Let me overlap this one that is called Sprinkles, and I overlap this one that is called Crying Sparkles. Yeah, but cannot compete with, is not comparable with this one. I mean, the color maybe gets closer, but it is the texture that is totally different. You see how much smoother is this by Dior. If you are more this type of person that prefers more punch, then you may go for Sickly Sweet by Blend Bunny, and you get the shimmer, you get the shine, while this is much more delicate. Even Chanel and Tom Ford are more sparkly compared to these. So all in all, I think there's a market for this, there's a customer, and that type of customer, it's me. I'm very picky when it comes to texture, and sometimes I search for these type of smooth textures. If you want shine, punch, pigmentation, and darker colors, then I would recommend other type of style. And this is a great pastel palette by Blend Bunny. From these four pieces, the only must for me is the blush. This I would recommend because it's unique tone of pink lavender. So see you in my next video. Bye.